Hello, dear students. Welcome to tutoringcluster.com. So, in this video, we are going to talk about second law of thermodynamics. So, in the previous video, we have solved very important numericals based on heat engine, heat pump, and refrigerator. So, hope all the three concepts, their block diagram, how it works, how to solve the numericals, how to calculate efficiency and COP. Right. So hope everything is clear to you. So if you are new to my YouTube channel, please do like and subscribe, and also you can hit the notification bell. You can join us on Telegram. I have already uploaded all the handwritten notes of the subject systems and mechanical engineering. So let us start with this video and let us learn about second law of thermodynamics. So before seeing this statement, let us discuss some important points. Now, if you ever drop a glass and watch it shatter, suppose आपने glass, let's say you have thrown it onto the floor, and let's say वो break हो गया. So, is there any way going back in time and again getting back the unbroken glass? ऐसा पॉसिबल है क्या? सपोज आपके पास ग्लास है, आपने वो थ्रो किया है फ्लोर पे और टूट गया. So can you again go back in time and can you again have the unbroken glass? Answer is of course no. So this is what? This is irreversibility. You cannot go again back. Right? This is what? Irreversibility. So basically, second law of thermodynamics, it states that heat energy cannot transfer from a body at a lower temperature to a body at a higher temperature without addition of energy. ओके देखिए अभी तक हमने क्या सीखा था दैट हीट एनर्जी it can easily flow from hot body to cold body due to a temperature gradient. Okay, temperature difference. So this is how heat follows the convention, right? It is going to flow from hot body to cold body like water. Okay, a simple example consider water. Water can easily flow from higher level to lower level. लेकिन आपको अगर वाटर लोअर लेवल से अगर हायर लेवल पे लेके जाना है, ओके फॉर एग्जांपल आपके बिल्डिंग में टेरेस पे ऊपर जो टैंक है उसमें अगर वाटर आपको डालना है फ्रॉम द ग्राउंड, you requires what? You require a pump. Function of pump is what? You can lift the water from lower level to the higher level. That means you are using some devices. You are giving some work input to lift the water from lower level to higher level. Similarly, heat can easily flow from hot body to cold body. But if you want to transfer a heat from cold to hot body, it is difficult. Okay, heat itself cannot flow. You have to give some work input to it. You have to give some work input. Then only heat can flow from cold body to hot body. So basically, second law of thermodynamics, it gives you a direction. It gives direction in which heat can flow. Okay, when we talk of a first law of thermodynamics, it was directionless law. It does not talk of any direction that how heat energy is going to flow, how work is going to flow. So basically, first law of thermodynamics, it is directionless. But second law of thermodynamics gives you a direction. So this is a very important law, right? Okay, so let us see what is the statement of second law of thermodynamics? So there are two statements. One is Kelvin-Planck statement and second is Clausius statement. So these are the two statements for second law of thermodynamics. So what is Kelvin-Planck statement? So it says it is impossible to convert all the heat extracted from a hot body into the work. Okay, in heat engine, we have seen the heat engine. So basically, you can explain the Kelvin-Planck statement using heat engine, and you can explain or you can remember Clausius statement using refrigerator. We are going to see it. Okay, I am going to simplify this statement. Don't worry. Just read about the theory and then we will see the concept. So in a heat engine, the working substance takes the heat from hot body, right? Converts a part of it into a work and gives the rest into the cold body. Is it correct? See how heat engine works. I am drawing the block diagram of heat engine. So you are having heat engine. It works between what? Source and sink. We have already seen this. So this is your source, which is at a temperature T1. This is your sink, which is at a temperature T2. We have seen T1 is greater than T2. Okay, this is the heat engine. So it is going to produce some work by taking some input and it rejects the heat to the sink. Okay, so this is what written here, that in heat engine working substance, it takes the heat from the hot body, right, converts a part of it into a work and gives the rest to the cold body, right. Now what it says, there is no heat engine that can convert all the heat taken from the source into work without giving any heat into the sink, right. This means that for obtaining continuous work, a sink is necessary. Okay, fine. So let us discuss now what is written. So we know how we can calculate efficiency. Efficiency of an heat engine, it is output. What is the output? W. And what is the input? Input is Q1. So this is how you calculate efficiency. Now, what is W? W is nothing but Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q1. So, if I am going to split here, Q1 upon Q1, it will be 1 minus Q2 upon Q1, right? Okay. Now, let's say there is no sink. If there is no sink, Q2 is going to be 0. If Q2 is 0, so what will be efficiency? 1 minus 0 upon Q1, which is equal to 1. And if you want to have the efficiency in percentage, 1 into 100, 1 into 100, it will be 100%. That means if there is no sink, efficiency of an engine is 100%. Is it possible in real life? We know you take any devices, efficiency cannot be 100%. There will be some losses. It can be a friction loss, it can be a heat loss, whatever it is, right? So 100% efficient engine is not possible. That means any engine, any engine to give the continuous work, it has to reject some heat, and that rejection is what? That rejection of heat is into the sink. So that is what it says. There is no heat engine that converts all the heat taken from the source. This is the heat. Q1 is the amount of heat taken from the source. It is converting into the W without rejecting any heat into the sink. So Q2 cannot be 0. That is what the Kelvin-Planck statement says. That means heat has to be exchanged between two reservoirs. These are the two reservoirs. One is source, second is sink. Okay. So what it says, Kelvin-Planck, if you want to have the continuous work produced by the engine, the heat has to be exchanged between the two reservoir. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता सिर्फ सोर्स है और सिंक है ही नहीं, इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. ये सिंपल है केल्विन प्लैंक स्टेटमेंट. तो आपको अगर कंटिन्यूस वर्क चाहिए है विद द हेल्प ऑफ इंजन, आपको सोर्स भी नेसेसरी है और सिंक भी नेसेसरी है. then only the things are going to be work in practice, right? So I hope Kelvin Planck statement is clear to everyone. Okay, that means 100% heat cannot be converted into 100% work. There must be some rejection. Okay, that is what written. It is impossible to convert all the heat. 100% heat cannot be converted into 100% work. Okay, there has to be some rejection into the sink. So I hope Kelvin Planck statement is clear to everyone. Right. So you can explain Kelvin Planck statement using what? Heat engine. Now what is Clausius statement? Okay, it says it is not possible to transfer the heat from cold body to a hot body without expenditure of work by an external energy source. To understand this, let us see the block diagram of refrigerator. Okay, so you are having, you know now, refrigerator and heat pump, how to draw the block diagram. Okay, so this is your refrigerator. So again, this is a source which is at a temperature T1. This is your sink which is at a temperature T2. And of course, T1 is greater than T2 in all the cases. So basically you are taking the heat from the compartment. Basically this is your compartment, this is your surrounding. Okay, so you are taking the heat from the sink and you are rejecting it into the surrounding or source. Now how heat is flowing here? If you see here, heat is flowing from lower temperature to higher temperature. Now if you remember, heat cannot flow like this, it has to be from higher to lower, right? But let's say you want to transfer the heat from lower temperature T2 to higher temperature T1, you have to provide some work input. आप जब रेफ्रिजरेटर यूज कर रहे हो, you are giving some work input in the form of electrical energy, right? Okay, अगर आपने फ्रिज ही बंद कर दिया, right? Let's say you have switched off the electrical energy given to the refrigerator cannot work. Okay, कुछ work input necessary, it can be in the form of electrical energy or any form. In case of refrigerator, it is electrical energy. Okay, this is a simple statement that heat cannot flow from cold body. This is your cold body, this is your hot body. It cannot flow like this without giving any work input. That is what a Clausius statement. So remember, Kelvin Planck statement you can explain using heat engine. Okay, that both source and sink are necessary if you want to have the continuous work. What Clausius statement says, you can explain with the help of refrigerator that heat cannot flow from low temperature to higher temperature without work input. I hope both the statements I have simplified and hope you have understood both the statement. Now, as we have seen, perpetual motion machine of first kind, if you remember, right? In case of first law of thermodynamics, if you have still not watched those videos, you can find the link of those videos in the description box. Please go and watch, right? Now, what is PMM2? That is perpetual motion machine of second kind. Okay. So basically, perpetual motion machine, it follows the Kelvin Planck statement. First thing you have to remember. Okay. Kelvin Planck statement. It is based on a Kelvin Planck statement of second law of thermodynamics. A device, what it says now, see here, a device that produces a work while interacting with single heat reservoir. Okay, in the figure, there is only a source, no sink. That means Q2 is 0. That means still engine is producing a work while interacting with a single heat reservoir is known as perpetual motion machine of second kind. But we know that such device doesn't exist. That means it violates what? Second law of thermodynamics. Okay, that means it is violating what? Kelvin Planck statement. Right? So perpetual motion machine of second kind, this is only a conceptual part. Okay, it's ideal. It does not exist in nature. Okay, because we know to produce the continuous work, exchange of it has to be between source and sink. There should be a two reservoir, then only you get it work. Okay, so I hope perpetual motion machine of second kind is clear to you. So this is all about second law of thermodynamics. It's a very important law. Basically, it tells you about a direction in which heat is going to flow. So hope you have understood both this statement, Kelvin Planck, as well as a Cauchy's statement. I have simplified it and hope you can remember it. If you are new to my YouTube channel, please do like, hit the notification bell, and don't forget to subscribe the YouTube channel, as well as don't forget to share with your friends. You can find us on the Facebook, as well as you can join us on Telegram channel, where I give updates whenever there are. As well as I have made some MCQ videos for you for your preparation in the exam. So you can find the link of those videos in the description box. So please go and watch it. Thank you.